Okay, the second one I probably won't need a card. It's the first one. So, but first of all, I just want to introduce myself. I'm Chad Waddell, for some of you guys that don't know. I'm the husband of Amy Waddell, my beautiful wife.
Where you are.
Chad, wait!
Go, Chad.
I'm trying to read. I can't read. I need my glasses. Anyway, I just want to introduce ourselves. I want to introduce Amy, and that's my beautiful bride right there. And guys, if you've seen Gracie, if you've seen Lindsay, that's where they get it from. Beautiful.
What about me?
You too. You too. So, Gracie, this I'm going to try my best. She knows. The last time I did a speech, we did a prayer, and Greg was there. He knows. He had to finish it, actually. I did a prayer about the kids, and he had to finish it because I started crying. As you get older, you start crying. It's crazy. You don't think you do, but you actually do. And so I'm going to try my best not to let that happen. But if I do, Greg, I may need your help. So this little story right here is about Gracie and about what happened about a year ago. She came to me and she said, "Daddy, I'm leaving. I'm leaving the house." And if anybody knows me, like my family, friends, they know I am very, never anticipated that. Right, Lindsay? They're going to live with me forever. So Gracie came to me. She said, "Daddy, I'm leaving. I'm going down to East Point. I'm going to live." And that was a tough little pill to swallow. And it got me thinking about a story from her childhood about leaving. So one night, and Greg will remember this, Dee, Ashley, maybe Perry. I went out. I was involved in some different things, and I went out to one of my businesses one night. And when I got back, I heard a story about Gracie leaving the house. She was probably 4 or 5 years old at the time, and it was a scary story because if anybody that knows Bainbridge knows where we lived at the time. There was a pond. There was all kind of trouble. So when I got back, I heard that Gracie had left the house, and what she had actually done, she had left the house in her diaper. No shirt, nothing. She walked all the way around the pond. She walked back there and she scared the death out of Greg, right? She did. And Gracie and I, we kind of argue about this a little bit and everybody, but my recollection is this. She missed her daddy. She saw me leaving. Huh? No. She would stand at that little door and she would see me leave, and it broke my heart when I would get back. She did not want me to leave, so she went looking for me that night. So when I got home, I heard that story and it scared me to death. But anyway, she left and everything turned out all right. Okay, so back to the Noah story. She did it again. You know, she was leaving. And so, no, all I can say is this. Gracie has a habit of leaving. Be careful. And by the way, thank you, Lindsay, for that one. One of the things that I remember about Gracie, I used to go out to the mower. I'd cut the grass, stuff on the mower out there, cutting the grass, stuff like that. I wouldn't really be paying attention, and I would look up, and here comes this little girl running towards me, expecting nothing, just my little girl. And all she wanted to do is ride with little daddy on the lawnmower. And she had no idea the impact that had on me. She didn't know. She was just wanting to ride with her daddy. But what it meant to me was so special. And we'd ride around for a little while and stuff like that. And she'd get off and she'd walk off, and I'd walk off. And she didn't want anything in return, but it meant so much to me to have her do that. And I miss those days so much. And it's things you did too. But you did. But I miss that so much. But I want to talk about one thing, and that's fate. You know, obviously I believe in God. I believe in what we can choose our own destiny and what we do. But I do believe in fate. And, you know, we'll talk about me and Miss Amy for a minute here. Don't get too nervous, baby. But if anybody's ever seen my wife, she's pretty beautiful. Yeah, yep.
Amen.
So anyway, in college, me and Miss Amy met on a blind date, and obviously she was blind. Duh. But it was this SAE party. You know, we met at this party, and you know, all the guys would say, "Okay, this is the girl we want to go with," and the guys knew it, but the girls had no idea. So I'd walk in, and we walked in. I said, "Hey, baby," or Amy. It wasn't baby at that time. It was Amy. "I'm your date," and that's how we met. And then from there, we had a lot of ups and downs and stuff like that. But she stuck it out with me. And the biggest thing about fate, and this is going to circle back around to Noah, I promise you eventually, and Gracie, is that, you know, at the time I was dating someone. I had my best friend, Ben Cox, over here. Y'all know Ben Cox? And we were all going to Georgia together. So you think about it. I had my best friend, my girlfriend. We're all going to Georgia. And I'm a stupid college kid. And something stepped in and said, "Chad, don't go." I have no idea what it was. But I didn't do it. And I stayed. And it was a few months later, or maybe a year later, is when we did the Patty Murphy. And I met Amy. And if I had gone to Georgia, I'd never met her. So fate stepped in. And that's how I met Amy. And it was the greatest thing that ever happened. So backing up to Noah and Gracie, when they were in high school, Gracie and Lindsay probably can both tell you I was anti-boyfriend. I did not like it. Yeah, it was not going to happen. I said there's only reason boys want to date girls in high school, blah, 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 blah. So I was just against it. And they probably hated me at the time. Noah came along, and Noah, it was nothing personal. It was not personal. It was just a belief that I had. You don't date guys in high school. You'll meet your guy one day in college or something like that. So one day we're up in Watkinsville, where we live now, and all of a sudden I hear this Noah name. I ain't heard it in years. And I was like, what the heck? I was like, are we talking about the same Noah? That Noah? And sure enough, it was that Noah. So Noah started coming around. He was hanging out with us in Watkinsville. We were going out. We were doing things together. And I really got to enjoy Noah. I really got to meet him and understand him and enjoy his company and things like that. And became to like him and love him. And so that same fate that brought me and Amy together, I feel like it has a lot to do with what happened with these guys. You guys will understand. Gracie, how were y'all when you broke up? When that thing happened?
I started 16.
Okay, you're 20. Okay, that's 7 years ago. 7 years ago, and they're back together. That's fate. That's fate. Yeah. Because I never in a million years would have thought that would have happened. Because I never in a million years would have thought me and your mom would be together. Because I don't deserve her, and she knows that. But things worked out. But you guys, 7 years later, to come back together, that's fate. So it's meant to be. And the only thing I can say is things work out for a reason. And I think at the time I was doing the right thing. And maybe I was, I don't know. But I think it worked out like it should have been. So I'm glad that Noah's in our life now. I love you, Noah. Regardless of how you felt of me at the time. And you remember that day in my office, right? Yeah. And I'll say this about Noah. I was bad to Noah. And he came to me in Watkinsville. He came up there and he did something that I didn't do. He asked for Gracie's hand in marriage. And I never did that for Amy. And that meant a lot. And I appreciate you doing that.
Hey! All right. Good evening. Good evening. Thank you. I'm Lindsay, Gracie's sister. And just to start off the evening, I just want to thank Mr. Bill and Miss Kira for everything they've done this weekend. Last night was amazing. I did plan on doing this last night, so this was not planned at all in front of all of you. That's fine. Thank you. And then I would like to thank mine and Gracie's wonderful parents, Chad and Amy, for the beautiful night that they've put on. This is great. We've had so much fun. Thank you so much. Okay, and then now. So, as I said, I'm Lindsay, and I was given the privilege of standing by Gracie this weekend as her maid of honor, and then also for the past 10 or so years as her best friend. I know. You may be thinking 10 years, but don't you mean 23? And I mean no, because we weren't best friends from the start. Growing up, I was the laid-back tomboy, and then Gracie was the outgoing, spunky, charming, and charismatic firecracker that we all know and adore to this day. And then I can't honestly pinpoint a time in our growing up childhood that we became, that I knew that she was my person and we became best friends. All I remember is packing up and leaving for college and just remembering that we could be best friends and roommates forever. Which eventually, as most of you all know, did come true when we both moved back in during our final years of college. And what a ride that was, Mom and Dad. You are the prettiest person on the inside and out. And I honestly couldn't imagine a more deserving person of just pure happiness. So thank goodness you got stuck with me as a sister. No, but seriously, you are so genuine and so caring, and you exemplify all of those qualities in your day-to-day life, from teaching and tutoring after hours to staying up late to make signs and decorate the house for anyone's big life moments. There's no one else I can have the most fun with while literally doing nothing. You make my bad times good and my good times even better. You are truly the epitome of grace. And I just know you are going to make the best wife to Noah. And then Noah. I just can't thank you enough for treating my sister the way every girl deserves to be treated. Your love story is raw, real, and one for the books. And although I didn't get to observe the first half as much as I would have liked, the fact that you two found your way back to each other after 5 years is a testament to your relationship. You've had to overcome a few hurdles and withstand the wrath of Chad a few times, as we all heard before, especially during the beginning, which is basically just a rite of passage in dating a Waddell girl. You realize what Gracie and mine relationships means to both of us and what an important role she plays in my life. From the second you came back into her life, I knew that this was it. And from the moment you asked for my blessing, that's right, Dad, I was first, to propose was one of the happiest and proudest moments of my life. Tonight, I just want to thank both of you for being a part of my life, our lives, and to celebrate the love that you both share. Cheers to Noah and Gracie and the Thomas.
Hey, where did we go?
Brace yourselves.
Down in the hollow.
The minute and a half?
Two.
Chill out.
So Noah and I go way back. One moment I'm holding my new son in the delivery room, then I'm teaching him how to ride a bike, then watching him go off to college. And now in what seems like a blink of an eye, here we are tonight. Hi everyone, and welcome to this celebration of Noah and Gracie. I've been guilty of being long-winded, so some here may be expecting a long, boring speech. But the good news is I spent a few minutes at the bar earlier focusing my thoughts, and I have this down to a tight, punchy 27 and a half minutes. So let's get started. I feel very lucky tonight. I'm here with Kara, my firstborn, Ashlyn, and her boyfriend, Tyler. Kara and I met 37 years ago, the old-fashioned way in a bar. We danced, I got her number, and we went out. I smoked in those days. They called me Willie Winston. And Kara told me she didn't like that. And I said, I'm going to do what I want to do. And she said, we'll get a new girlfriend. As I got in my car that night, I knew immediately that I had made a serious tactical error. So I stopped smoking, but it took me 2 years to get Kara to go out with me again. But we were engaged a year later, and the rest, as they say, is history. I had to write this down. Kara has been a wonderful wife, a soulmate, and a fantastic mother to our kids over the years, and I thank you, Kara, for everything. A special welcome to Gracie's friends and family, including her parents, Chad and Amy, along with her sister, Lindsay, and brother, Joe. Where's Joe? More than anything, a child is the product of parental love and guidance, so thank you, Chad and Amy, for raising such a beautiful daughter inside and out. I'm happy that the Thomas and Waddell families are now joined through Noah and Gracie. Special thanks also to my best friend of 40 years, Don May, for officiating today's unforgettable marriage ceremony. Kara and I also want to welcome all of you This is Noah and Gracie's day, but it's you who make it special for them. So thank you, everyone, for joining us. Thank you. This all began when Noah was born. We had Ashlyn 3 years earlier, so I was rooting for a boy this time. And Noah completed our family.
Yeah, right.
I grew up with 3 sisters, so I was happy our first child... 3 sisters. So I was happy our first child was a girl. I knew girls, but I wasn't sure I'd know how to be a good father to a son. So I knew I would learn as much about life and the world from Noah as he would learn from me. And together we figured things out. It probably won't surprise anyone to hear that Noah was a rare blend of drive and caring growing up, and he still is. Noah's always been charming and confident. With the gift of gab, he'd strike up conversations with adults even as a young kid. Like many of us, sometimes he can be a little negative Nelly, but he generally has a positive energy people gravitate to and feel good around. Noah can be the life of the party sometimes, but most of the time I think he just wants to make any ordinary situation a little bigger, better, and more fun. He invests a lot of time and energy in his relationships with family and friends, and he has a lot of friends.
Yes, he
I was in the unique position tonight of not only being the father of the groom, but the best man. So part of my duties was organizing Noah's bachelor party in Tampa. Most bachelor parties have 6 or 7 guys. Noah had 20. Did I mention he had a lot of friends? I was more nervous about the damn bachelor party than his speech. I can also report there are not many Airbnbs who want to rent their place to 20, 24-year-olds for a bachelor party. But we made it through it in good shape, largely because Noah has always been more of a rule follower than a rule breaker in life. With only a few exceptions, he always made good decisions growing up. So I didn't have to worry about him like many fathers have to worry about their sons. I mentioned it.
You got this, buddy. Let's do it.
Got it. Do it. Do it.
I mentioned a moment ago that Noah was driven. I should clarify that he's only driven when he's interested in something. So he tends to be all in, as with Gracie, or not at all. Noah was good at every sport he tried, but really was very good in basketball. He worked really hard and became one of his high school top players at Grace Christian Academy. And this is off script a little bit that the McRaes are here.
Marty. Mallory.
Mallory McRae is the reason that Noah met Gracie. I just wanted to get that in there for you. Noah's always had an uncanny ability to make everything look easy. Unlike basketball, he wasn't very interested in homework, so he always needed encouragement from his mother. Noah's always had a sixth sense in being able to pinpoint the exact, absolute minimum amount of work necessary to get an A. If an A was 93, he'd come in at 92.8 and slide in. Things did not come as easy for Noah's sister, so this drove Ashlyn crazy. If the two of them had a test coming up, Ashlyn would study for hours over days. Noah would look at the material and say, I think I can do it in studying 45 minutes the night before. And somehow he'd pull it off every time. Noah, this brings me to one of the things I've always loved most about you. We live in a world where most people spend their lives trying to fit in, impress someone, or pretending to be someone else. But you have always been genuine and true to yourself. Looking back, I have a lot of great memories of your chubby little legs as a baby, of the memories of when you were 5 and we'd stay in the Buccaneer Motel at St. George Island and we'd jump from bed to bed without fear of your mother. And I'll never forget seeing you score your 1,000th point in basketball. I've always been proud to be your dad and amazed at the smart, caring, and successful man you are today.
You got it, brother.
Thank you for being such a great son. And thank you for allowing me the honor of being your wingman today. My introduction to Noah and Gracie as a couple came out of the blue. One day 9 years ago, I met Gracie in a group of Noah's friends. She and the others seemed nice enough, and I got on with my life. Then a few months later, I heard Noah was dating this girl, Gracie. I immediately remembered who she was because of her beautiful Georgia accent. But I wasn't taking the relationship very seriously. Noah was a junior in high school and Gracie was a sophomore. High school students date all the time. People come and go at that stage in life. And the two of them did come and go. Yet here we are tonight. Gracie, you and Noah have a very special bond. I did a little research and discovered that only 2% of marriages today are between people who met in high school. Yours is a very cool love story. There were 2 real turning points when I knew we would eventually be here tonight. The first, of course, was when you and Noah reconnected 2 years ago after one of those infamous accidental pocket dial phone calls.
Gracie? Yes.
The second turning point was seeing how dedicated you and Noah remained to each other that year you lived 300 miles apart. Long-distance relationships rarely work out, but the distance actually strengthened your relationship. I'm amazed at how aligned you and Noah are in your values, interests, and personalities. Best and most important is that the two of you have always treated each other with great love and respect you both deserve. So I can't imagine a better couple to share this journey. Let me leave you both with 2 things I've learned over the years. First, never smoke cigarettes. If I had kept smoking, there wouldn't be a Noah. And none of us would be here tonight.
Amen.
And second, always be honest with each other. That's it. I love you both and look forward to sharing our lives, families, and memories for many years to come. And so everyone, please join me in raising a glass to Noah and Gracie for a lifetime of joy, laughter, and maybe a few smart, caring kids of their own someday. To Noah and Gracie.